Hey guys, welcome to the show. I don't usually do reviews, but I've been wanting to see Suicide Squad since I was, I don't know, feels like I was 14. I saw like the preview stuff and like teasers and trailers and the first pictures of Jared Leto as the Joker, and I've wanted to see it since. I really love the comic stuff. I like villains. I have a thing for villains. Okay? And I really wanted to see this movie, and I saw it last night. And I've got to say I liked it. Okay? It had its bad side, it had its good side, but I think the good outweighed the bad. Now, I'm going to start with what was good about it. Now, I'm going to spoil stuff, so if you don't like spoilers, I don't know what to tell you. Watch the video, then complain about it. Okay, so it starts out with, all of our guys in Belle Reve Prison, which is like this big maximum security superhero prison, which is cool. And I like how in the first half of the movie, it's like two completely different movies. It's like if you took the Magnificent Seven, is that what it's called? I forget. Seven Samurai. The seven heroes. Well, they're not heroes; they're villains. But the seven troubled people get together and they have a goal and they have to go save somebody. Whatever, right? Take that movie, and then the last half of the movie is like the original Ghostbusters, if that makes sense. So basically, in the beginning half, it's really colorful, and they cram a lot of music in there. Like, as they introduce each character, they show like a little snippet of a song, like House of the Rising Sun or whatever, right, with each character. That sort of gives you sort of a feeling of what each character is like Deadshot and Killer Croc and stuff. And Killer Croc was pretty awesome. I liked Killer Croc. I thought he should be bigger, because I always pictured Croc, well, from the cartoons, the comics, and everything, as being like 15 feet tall, So I'm going to tell you the good stuff versus the bad stuff, okay? Like, the good stuff is Harley Quinn nailed it. Margaret Robbie? Robbie? Is that right? Anyway, she nailed it. I hear a rumor that she's going to be getting her own Harley Quinn movie. Can't wait. She completely blasted it out of the park. She was just smart enough and just crazy enough at the same time, and just so nonchalant about things that she was perfect. Honestly, I didn't think that she'd pull it off as well as she did. It was really good. Now, on the other side of that was like what ultimately turned out to be the villain, which was the Enchantress. I figured from the previews and all the stuff that had leaked that the Enchantress would just be one more member of the team, but it turns out she's actually the big bad. Now, most of her time on screen was sort of a sort of creepy, seductive voice and doing some belly dancing. Really. Yay. The character was sort of wasted, because the Enchantress is actually pretty interesting in the comics. I'm not going to get into it, but it's way more interesting than she was portrayed in the thing. And she was just basically like this seductive, I'm here to ruin June Moon's life and take over the world. Which there's way more to it than that, and it was just a wasted thing. If they had gone with this movie with even a second tier villain, somebody else that they could have tied this more into the whole DC umbrella thing they're trying to do. Maybe a parademon, or a boom tube opened up in Midway City and a parademon came through and is wrecking the place, and they had to go, but they wanted to use somebody from the team and have sort of a double agent thing going on. I don't think that worked at all. Now, Jared Leto's Joker. Okay. People are complaining. I've seen a few other reviews. I've seen people talking that Jared Leto, his Joker, isn't in it that much, which is true. But neither's Batman. Or the Flash. Flash is there for a Flash, which is pretty awesome, actually. Apparently they added that in post, because they just started filming Justice League, and they had him available, and they're like, let's stick the Flash in there. Captain Boomerang. Who's going to catch the Flash? Batman? I mean, who's going to catch Captain Boomerang? Batman? No. So they got the Flash in for one little scene, and it was perfect. See, we are at a point in our society, or history, and all that stuff, We all know these stories. I know Batman's origin. If I have to watch another movie that with that poor little Bruce Wayne, no, I don't need to. Nobody needs to know this. We all know Superman shot down here in a rocket from Krypton. Everybody knows that. We don't need to watch that movie. So this movie gave us sort of like a little teaser of each one of their origins because they're villains and people aren't really that used to it, which was perfect. And it sprinkled the big things right on top of it. Like the Joker. You don't need to know the Joker's origin because he's the Joker. So having the Joker like fighting Batman, there was like a pretty good scene. And the best part about that scene is the sort of classic 80s cartoon Batman music that they had. It was perfect. It was like, it was perfect, okay? And she's like all like pudding, and he's all like, I got company, and like Batman. And God, Ben Affleck, this is good Batman. He just nails it. He's like perfect. Now, I digressed a little bit there, but the Jared Leto Joker thing, he's not in it a lot, but you don't need him a lot because he's such a big character. He's like an overwhelming presence, and like if it was like half Joker, no. Now, spiritually, the plot is a little different, and the character lineup and all that is a little bit different, but it's a lot like Assault on Arkham, which was an animated movie that was out a little bit ago. And I really enjoyed Assault on Arkham. And the Joker wasn't... Well, it was a slightly bigger presence in that one, but almost to the point of it was almost a Joker movie, right? But with big characters like that, you only need a little bit. The Joker, Batman, the Flash. You don't need their origin. You don't need much. Just like, okay, this person is here in this universe with them, and this is what's going on. They are a force of nature, stay out of their way. And every time Harley pulled out her cell phone and texted, I was like, oh, that's going to end badly. Now, there is one thing about the Joker that I'm going to talk about here. He's not portrayed like a lot of the modern portrayals of the Joker are portrayed. Portrayals of the Joker. Mincing my language. He's sort of... Actually, one of the older versions of the Joker wasn't that he was like this crazy, random, schizo, kill everybody thing. Originally, the Joker was sort of a crime boss figure. He had a gang, just like the Penguin, and they like robbed banks and wanted money and all that stuff. And that's how he's portrayed. That's what he comes off on in this movie. He is a gang leader. They say right in the movie that Harley and the Joker were like the king and queen of Gotham, and if anybody got in their way, they... Right? So he was like a big gang leader in Gotham, which is one of the older portrayals of the Joker. Now, people may complain about that because they're so used to the Heath Ledger Joker or, Jack Nicholson's Joker that were just crazy for the sake of being crazy and didn't really have anything else behind that. It was just all crazy. But a lot of the earlier portrayals of the Joker weren't this random serial killer guy. They were a legitimate gangster. Just that the crazy and the clown stuff was thrown on top of that. Which I think is actually a really nice way to go with it. Because honestly, we've had a lot of the whole random, crazy killing joke Joker. This is an older one. This is, yeah. Now, with the whole DC 3 Joker thing, that could be a real nod to that. Like, the crazy clown Joker, the killing Joker, and I say the crazy clown one, that's the one I carved his face off that I don't like to talk about. Then there's like the killing Joker, and then there's like the original sort of gangster clown Joker, which is a nice nod. I liked it. He pulled it off. He was good. Now, Will Smith is Deadshot. He was dead on. I was worried, but he was Will Smithing. Will Smith at this point is just Will Smith. You hire him for a movie, he's Will Smith in this movie. He does Will Smith stuff. What do you expect? But it fit really well with the Deadshot thing. Katana was really underused. It's like she was almost a background character, but they pulled her to the forefront a few times. There was very little given to her origin story. She is interesting enough to have her own movie, but a lot of the characters in this movie were. Now, something else that I absolutely loved was Amanda Waller. If you follow comics or movies, or DC comics and movies and whatnot, you know that Amanda Waller is probably the biggest monster in the DC universe. She's one of those people that you just want to punch in the face until your knuckles go numb. And yeah, she pulled it off. I forget her name. I feel so bad. I really love her in everything too. She's like an excellent actress. I'm going to quickly look that. I'll do that with one thing but yeah, she was awesome. She was a conniving, backstabbing, vicious, cool, calculating sociopath, executive expletive. She was absolutely perfect. It's like Amanda Waller's the type of woman that walks into a room and you want to punch her in the face, but she makes you punch yourself in the face. She's one of those people. If you know these people, you will be like, yeah, she's perfect. She pulled it. And like, there was a scene where they like actually like find out what they were actually in Midway City to like rescue, and they thought it was like some, big scientist or something good, and it turns out to be Amanda Waller. And they're all like, ugh. Because if they had known, they probably would have like let their heads get blown off and let her die, because she's just that much of a. And then she executes all the people that were working for her. They all like, she's like, yeah, wipe the drives. They wipe the drives, and then and they're all like FBI agents and stuff. So what the hell? Because they knew stuff, right? And so they have to get her out. Now, of course, we have that great scene on the building where they're evacuating Amanda Waller, and like, they got the helicopter there, and the helicopter's not answering, and you're like, uh-oh. Are they like weird bumpy zombie thingies from the movie? No. Our good old pal the Joker showed up. So he shows up, he's got the helicopter, he starts like minigunning the building and just going Joker crazy, and he deactivates Harley's bomb, and they try to swoop off into the sunset together. So, of course, the chopper gets shot down by Waller, because, although really, if I had the chance to shoot the Joker down, yeah. So, Harley falls out and survives, amazingly, because anybody else that didn't have massive amounts of plot armor would have died instantly. You don't fall out of a helicopter and live. Especially over a city. She just lands on a rooftop, and she's like, Puddin'! And Puddin' crashes, and she's like, Now, this is actually, I think, one of the strongest scenes for Harley in the movie. She's, like, sort of banged up. She's all wet. It's raining. She's, like, on top of her car roof, and she pulls off her collar, and her collar has Puddin' written on it. Because the whole Joker thing, right? And she just looks at it, and she's like, and I don't know if you can tell she's crying, but she's really upset. And she just takes the collar and she throws it into the distance. And then everybody comes back up and she just puts the mask back on. She's like, hey, I missed you guys so much. And, So, it was just this whole transference of, like, she felt something for a little bit, but then she had to put the mask back on. Because Harley's actually, like, a pretty complicated character. She's not just crazy for the sake of being crazy. She started out as a clinical psychologist, and she started to fall in love with the Joker, of all people, and he drove her crazy. So she's actually, they say in the movie that she's actually crazier than the Joker, which makes sense because the Joker's just crazy. She signed up for it. Who's crazier, the guy who's just crazy, or the one who's like, ooh, I'll have some of that? Now, Killer Croc has like exactly one really good line, and that's like, Harley, again, who completely stole the movie, by the way. This is basically like a Harley movie. And she was like telling them how they're all ugly on the inside and pretty on the outside, except for Killer Croc, because he's ugly on the outside. And he's like, oh, like, I'm beautiful. And I'm like, you don't argue with Croc. He says he's beautiful, you put fucking bows on him. He's beautiful. Okay? And they're in this bar. You see the scene. Everybody's seen, like, the rest of the scene, how there's, like, drinking and no honor and thieves and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, it was a pretty nice little theme. But that's where the movie sort of gets cut in two. The first half, where it's all Seven Samurai, where they're, troubled warriors gathering together to do a thing and yada yada. But then the second half of the movie turns into Ghostbusters. I don't know if everybody saw this or not, but basically there's this evil, half-dressed magical being that's destroying the city with her portal, and they have to march up to her and fight her. And first they have to defeat her big oversized guard, Stay Puft, or it's her brother in the movie, which is, I don't know. And they do some creative stuff, and then they blow up her portal and she dies. And then at the end, when you think you lost the love interest, June Moon or Sigourney Weaver, she claws her way out of the creature that she became. So, like, literally, the first half of the movie is one movie, and then the second half is Ghostbusters. Literally, there's actually a surgical line right down the middle where you can see where they glued the two pieces together. That wasn't so good. They stole from two really good movies to do this. It's like, well, I'll just take this, this $3,000 watch, and I'll take this can of caviar, and I'll glue them together, and I'll have a $6,000 watch. No, that's not how that works. It's a good movie. I like the movie. It hit all the notes that I wanted it to hit. Batman was just used sparingly, and he was perfect. Batman's not something that has the spotlight on him. He is an urban legend. He's just something that shows up and ruins bad guys' days. That's cool. That's how Batman should be. It's like if they do a Justice League movie, it should be all like Superman's in the middle and like Batman's like in the background. Every once in a while you see somebody like disappear. Or, like Alien, from Aliens, where you're just walking along and that's what Batman's supposed to be. Just used sparingly, like a really spicy spice or something. Just little tiny doses. That's perfect. But I find the editing in the movie was really, really jumpy, and they threw a lot of stuff together, and it's like they had like this much stuff and they wanted to cram it into this big of a box, and you could see and the fact that it just like two completely disjointed movies, and it was very clearly Ghostbusters at the end. Like when I saw like at the end, I think June Moon's dead because they had to kill the Enchantress, and she literally like claws her way out of like the ashy remains of the Enchantress, and I'm like, wow, they should have got Sigourney Weaver for this. She was already good at this. Now that's not to say, like I said, I liked the movie. I enjoyed it. They could have done a few things differently, but what they did do right, they did really, really, really well right. Really, really well right. Is that even a thing? But what they screwed up on was like, it's like somebody gave them like the best actors for the role and the best sets and budgets, and like their music budget must be like astronomical because they got like a lot of really good songs. Like the soundtrack for this thing is going to be amazing, but just the editing and no, it didn't work. Not for me. Now, there's a few things that could have been done to make it better. Like I said, using like a different villain. Well, big bad, because they're all villains. Using a different big bad. Maybe. Yeah, that would be the main thing. And I wouldn't have done that whole pasted on Ghostbuster ending. It was like really, really. And of course, then there's like the after, because they all get the request, because, they don't get to run free just because they saved the world. Oh, no. They have to, like... And they're back in prison, and this, like, evil SWAT team breaks in and breaks the Harley out. Guess who? Joker. You should have said, "Do you miss me?" Oh, my God. Perfect. There was this one thing where like they were showing like flashbacks to Harley's past, and it shows this like him and the Joker in a tuxedo and her in like the classic Harley costume, and it was just like you must have seen that beautifully painted. I think it's Alex Ross. I think where it's just the Joker and he's got Harley and they're like dancing and oh, it was beautiful. It was perfect. Perfect. So, yeah. Magnificent Seven? Super 7? I forget what it's called. Anyway, so, like I said, the movie was good. I enjoyed it. Harley was awesome. Deadshot was awesome. The rest of the team was sort of... Oh, Captain Boomerang, he was an irredeemable asshole. Which is what we kind of want in our Captain Boomerangs. Rick Flag, forgettable. June Moon, forgettable. Joker was awesome. Batman was awesome. Flash cameo was spectacular. The whole pasted on Ghostbuster ending. Apparently they went back and refilmed things, and I want to think that that's what they filmed. They just said, let's just do the ending a little differently, and that's what I want to think. I'm probably wrong, but, you know, I can't wait to see the Harley Quinn movie. Because it seems like every time they make a movie and they screw up, because the whole DC Marvel movie thing, because the Marvel movies are rocking it, and they started out rocking it, but the DC movies were sort of faltering and yeah. And now it's like every time they make a movie, they learn a little bit because they learned a lot from the screw ups from Batman versus Superman, and now this one they reconfigured and rejiggered and yeah. Now it had its problems. I liked it. I enjoyed it. It was a good movie. I don't think that the 23%, or that's the last Rotten Tomato rating I got is warranted at all. I think it's a good movie and you should probably check it out. So, as usual, if you liked this video, thumbs up, subscribe, like, yada yada, all that fun stuff. Don't forget to ask any questions in the comment section. Tell me what you thought about the movie. If you want to see it, if you think I should do more movie reviews, or if I should just stop. I've never done one before. I don't know if this was all stream of consciousness nonsense, but I'd like to hear your comments about it anyway. As usual, I do this all for you. Thanks. I love you. Bye.